Welcome to another live stream. Here, Green Kenobi here. Now, I know some of y'all are asking for other series like with Female Deku was Fluttershy Part 2, which I plan to do and make. If everything is done, I can have it out tomorrow, most likely. But I really wanted to get back to this because the Shadow series is something that I kind of left off. And I wanted to get back to. It's one of my side series. I kind of want to do a little bit more than the Barrel War, because the Barrel War takes a lot of time and effort in making the scenes. So I've mostly been doing this one until I can get the entire Barrel War for the next part situated. Oh, and I see y'all in the chat. Thank you. Forgotten Melody. You're like, you know, it's funny. Howling Melody is one of the people in the Barrel War and the Shadow series. Although he's not a main member in this series, he is a main person and a very valuable friend of mine that wanted to be a part of the. I'd actually come up to him and asked if he wanted to, and he actually said yes. Yeah, the Avalanche part was his idea for the Barrel War, so you can thank him for that. Because I kind of did him dirty of him being caught, and he got mad at me for that. So I kind of had to turn things down a bit. Oh, hey Freddy. Now, I will be getting into this, but I do need to tell y'all something very important, and that is, this image on the right is Fred. And I decided to give y'all a little bit of an idea of who Fred is. So this is going to be Fred's image for this series. Give me a second and I'll see what the problem is with the mic. Yep. So, sorry if things are a little bit out of order and all that. I am doing things to continue the series and all that. Also, Forgotten Melody. Your What If Marina was sanitized is coming out fairly soon. I'm working on that. I have pretty much wanted to get one of these series out of the way first. So, I do want to tell y'all that I have things lined up, and some of y'all asked me for other What If Astas. Now, I will say, this is going to be a little bit of a glimpse, but I do have another What If Asta was a crossover with Overwatch. So basically, like, What If Reaper? Imagine What If Asta was another Overwatch character. I'm not going to tell which one, that would be a bit of a spoiler. And I don't want to give those out, really. So, oh, and one more thing, in this part, I'm going to be telling you the names of the other organization, how things are going to go down, and all that. Also, I really need to get to making the Fluttershy one because y'all seem to love that. Do we have any questions before I get into the story of the next part of Shadows versus Siren Head? if we have no questions, I'll get right into this part. And note, Fred will be making an appearance, as Fred always has stuff. And also, you may thank Freddy in the chat. He was the inspiration and helped me with the making up of the character Fred. So you can thank him for that. Oh, I did just get back from my 4th of July break. I had already had videos set up, so I've been taking a few day break. If that's what y'all are saying in the chat. I haven't been working long. I've just gotten back to making videos. Because I just felt like that. And without further ado, if there's no questions, I believe I should get started this, because remember, there are 2 Siren Heads, another organization which is now going to be known as S.H.A.D.O.W.S. So just be on the aware of that. And I may give you a brief description of what S.H.A.D.O.W.S is all about, but it'll be in the story. Oh, I also have one more thing. Brocco Miller did come to me and ask, I asked him if he wanted to be part of this series. I did not get a response back from him. I will definitely, probably be adding him in this part. Maybe. I may save him for another more excellent and more very good episode, because we're only on the few. Like, we still got plenty more monsters of games, characters to hunt down. We're only on the top of the iceberg. We've only caught Vanny, Mommy Longlegs, Huggy Wuggy. We're not even close to even the top. We still gotta go hunt down Bendy and the Ink Machine. We still gotta hunt down Catnap, etc., etc. Garden of Banban is definitely one on my list. Well, anyway, let's get actually into the video before I get ranting onto whatever other stuff I was. S.H.A.D.O.W.S versus Siren Head. Last where we left off, S.H.A.D.O.W.S took a very hard blow, losing a lot of troops, and the remaining heading to an old abandoned factory. Ooh. We look through the vision of one of the guards running through the forest. What's happening? As he looks over to one of his comrades, as we see him walking and running through the forest with him. What's happening? We lost communications. The last communication that went out was we need to head to the abandoned factory nearby. Everyone else is heading there. As he hears gunfire, as he looks back and sees people a little bit further away shooting gunfire at. No, no, no! As that we just see a body flying through the air. Don't look, man. We need to get to that factory now. Right. As he looks forward back at him in the trees and all that, as he's running. As he hears even more gunfire. They're not going to get us, right? I don't know. We need to get to the factory immediately. As then we hear jets flying above head. As he looks over, as well, bombs just happen to drop in front of them, pushing them back, separating them. Hey, you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. As then he looks over through the fire and sees his colleague. As then Siren Head just smacks him away, sending him to a tree and splitting him in half, as one area goes towards into the fire and the other half, well, further into the forest. As the guard's scared and immediately starts running. No, no, everyone's gone. As he trips and stumbles, rolling down a hill a little bit into a pile of leaves. As he looks up and sees one of the Siren Heads approaching him. No, as he pulls out his pistol, as then, well, Siren Head gets hit in the back with an explosive. as then it just starts wandering away. As he breathes a sigh of relief. As he gets up. Well, it's not your lucky day. As the guard immediately turns around, just to get shot in the head. As he falls to the ground and is looking at the person that shot him. He's in a white uniform. The Poppy Playtime Factory. As we go to Fred. As he has a feeling and a sense of, as a smell comes in the air. I smell fire. Gunfire. Fire. And sirens. As he immediately starts walking away, as one of them asks, "Hey, where are you going?" "Sorry, but I'm taking a trip somewhere. I'll be back." As he looks in a serious tone and starts walking away. As Green Kenobi comes over. "What's happening?" Fred said he's leaving." "Let him do what he wants." "Are you sure, sir? He's like our best operative." Trust me, when Fred notices something's wrong, he usually ditches out of the mission and goes straight to wherever that thing's happening. Trust me, it's a weird habit. Did he say anything?" "Yeah, he said something about sirens. I overheard." "Yeah." As then, something comes on the communicator. "Repeat, we've lost contact with Empowered Gaming and Captain Inkwell. Repeat, we've lost contact. They were hunting down a Siren Head." As everyone looks over at the direction where Fred had just left. Did this man just predict this incoming information? As Green Kenobi just says, "Well, that's Fred for you." He knows whenever something goes wrong. After all, he didn't get his position for just doing nothing. As one of the guys asks, "What did he do to get his position?" "Just saying, Fred, there's two sides of him. One, you're glad to see. The other, you're gonna regret." As then Green Kenobi just walks away. As leaving most of everyone confused, even Sanitai's past, who's there. As we go to someone in a shack, leaning against the wall. It's one of S.H.A.D.O.W.S troop members. As we see 3 people in white military uniform standing in front of him. As then another person enters the room. He's in a white suit, has blonde hair, and has glasses. As he walks over and kneels down to the injured guard. "You're gonna tell us where your friends went." As the guy doesn't say anything. As he grabs one of the pistols off one of the guard's holsters and shoots him in the leg. As he screams, "You're ready to talk?" As the man just stays silent, refusing to tell him. "I was really hoping to get information out of you. That way we could eliminate your friends. We're here to capture the Siren Heads, you see? And we're not leaving without one. You happened to get in our way. We just simply needed to take care of you. Now, prepare the infantry to move in." "Sir, we are preparing them at once." "Good. Now, to tie up this loose end." As he gestures to one of the guards. As he closes the door as he leaves, and we just hear gunfire. "Sir, we've located the Siren Head. What about the other one?" "It currently got lost in the forest after the explosion." "Good. Where's its whereabouts?" "It's still nearby, but with the outposts of S.H.A.D.O.W taken down now, there's several gaps this thing could possibly escape. We can't let that happen. I was given orders to capture one of these Siren Head, and I must do it as I've been ordered." "You got that?" "Yes, sir." "Good." As he goes into a vehicle. "I'll be back once you finish the job. I must go somewhere, unfortunately, to check something out." As he leaves. As we go around, system that was set up by S.H.A.D.O.W.S, to where a few teams are moving through. We're glad whoever those guys are that came. They're not friendly. As we get then hear communication off someone, as we go to a person that's in the main control room of the camp-out area where the door is currently trying to be bust open. Repeat, these reinforcements are not reinforcements at all. They've come to eliminate us. They've already taken out pretty much everyone else in the camp. Repeat, if you are alive, tell reinforcements, get reinforcements, contact main headquarters. As then the door bursts open, as then he pulls out his gun and starts firing at them. As then, well, gunfire is just heard before everything goes silent. As we see the guard on the ground, as they approach, as they're about to go, well, hang up the communication thing, as then they notice, beep, beep, boom, as the entire communication area just got exploded. The guard took everyone out in the room with him. So it seems like those guys that came as reinforcements was false information. We got no idea who these guys are. What do we do? Let's regroup for one. That's what we need to do at once. You're right. As they start still heading to the security point, well, the rendezvous, which is the old factory, where we go to Empowered Gaming and Captain Inkwell. Captain Inkwell is currently being set down on, well, a table, as wounded are coming in left and right, as guards are just guarding the place. How many men have we retrieved? Around 100 or so. We have a lot of injured and several are still coming. Communication is still shut down, so any hope of reinforcements is currently gone. They should know that communication has been down too long, though, so they may send back up. Yeah, hope you're right. As he's looking at the guard he's talking to. Empowered Gaming, sir. What should we do? We can't evacuate the wounded, and those reinforcements are, you heard over the call, not here to help us. Yeah, and we have no idea where the Siren Heads are. As then they just hear knocking on the front door, as everyone in the room, and I mean like almost every guard that is conscious and has little wounds, aim their gun at the door as it opens, revealing about a team of 20 to 30 men. As Empower Gaming says, lower your guns. They're just other troops. As they start walking in, well, it's good to see y'all made it. We barely got out there. Apparently we'd used the underground system in time, as those reinforcements that are not, well, reinforcements attacked the place, apparently. Well, it's good y'all managed to make it out alive. We got lucky, sir. I can't say that for everyone else out there. As he looks out, as he still sees fire and gunfire from the distance. This is going to be a battle zone, and we can't do anything now. Especially, it'll be daylight in a few hours. Hopefully this battle stops fighting before then. I agree with you, sir, but I think the main priority, as he looks over at the wounded that are, well, scattered in the building, is to get all these troops to safety. Yeah. Those stupid Siren Heads and those hollow jerks. Hollow? Yeah, you probably didn't know this, but we have another organization only us top, well, higher ups really know in the security groups, which is Fred, Green Kenobi, me, Helly Melody, King, Captain Inkwell, and Santi's Past. And there's one other member as well who's currently off on an assignment. Hollow is an organization that wants to experiment with the monsters and all that, and give their soldiers superhuman powers. We're here for containment. They're here for experimentation. I see. But I thought our calls were completely hackable. Not unhackable. Halloween Melody is going over not just the security back at his headquarters, or our headquarters, but Poppy Playtime, this place, and another at the same time. He's going to focus most of his research and efforts in protecting the communication of main headquarters. So this was eventually going to happen. Someone was going to be able to tamper with our communication. It was just a matter of time before they did something. Do we know anything about this Hollow group, really, other than they experiment? Well, I heard Green Kenobi and Fred took on a few of their high-up members a while back. There was also a lot of troops with them, but Green Kenobi and Fred were the only ones to come back alive that day. No idea what happened. I wasn't there, as most of our main operatives at the time were at other locations. So the only ones that really know what happened at that battlefield would have been Fred and Green Kenobi. Other than that, I got nothing. I see, sir. Is there anything else? Nope, I got nothing on them. Well, I guess we just wait then. As then a huge explosion's heard outside, as the men immediately look out. As more fire, as we see flames as the Siren Head is in the distance. As the vehicle gets sent flying through the air. They're really trying to take down the Siren Head. We would have had it down already if it wasn't for them interfering in that other Siren Head. But wait, sir, I only see one Siren Head. Everyone have your guns ready. We still don't know if they may attack us. They're probably going to likely wipe us out. Hollow will anyway. As we go to, Fred, who's currently sitting in the backseat of a car, being driven. Other members of the security of S.H.A.D.O.W.S with him. He's just in the backseat of a taxi. So you're wanting me to take you to this camp, right? Yes. May I ask why? I will pay you double if you keep your mouth shut. Not complaining, as pretty much he's offered about $1,000 to the driver. And also, if you speak about this to anyone, I will happily blow up your car. That really tells the driver of the taxi to just keep his mouth shut. As they pull up, okay, we are here, sir. As he gets out, hey, what about my money? Look in the back seat. As he looks in the back seat and sees the money there. Never mind, as he just drives away. As Fred, has a sword on his back and has guns in his pockets. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. As he starts walking over to the main entrance of the camp and sees, the Hollow guards. Sorry, sir. As if they think he's a civilian because he's covered in a cloak and just came to there, no weapons. Well, they don't know that. Sorry, sir, the camp is closed. We are currently doing an investigation of some illegal activity here. As Fred is like, alright. As he turns around, and then both their heads just fall off their shoulders. As it reveals that there's a blade in Fred's hand. Oh, dead. Might as well just cause a commotion. As he walks in, and the bodies just explode. As Fred had dropped bombs. As now, the attention of most of their forces in the camp are now at the front gate. As they start heading there, and this is where we go to the second Siren Head, who's currently making its way to the old factory. Sir? What is it? That other Siren Head's currently on the other side of the building. What? Okay, take all the injured to a certain room that won't get affected. Right away. As they're taking out everyone that is injured the worst to a separate room that can't fight. As Captain Inkwell starts to regain his consciousness and gets up. Oh, my head. What happened? You were knocked unconscious and hit with a helicopter. As he gets up and looks over at Empire Gaming, who's just leaning on the wall. And you might want to pick up your gun. There's another Siren Head near us. What, 3 of them? No, the second one. If there's a third one, we're in trouble. Luckily, Hollow is dealing with the other one at the moment. As his eyes widen. Hollow's here? Apparently. That's bad news. Yes, it is. As then, they just even more explosions in the distance. As we go to the Siren Head that's battling Hollow, sending, vehicles left and right, infantry to the walls as it retreats into the forest, and, Hollow's still trying to track it down. And we go to Fred, who's just now walking pile of corpses. As another guard comes in and starts shooting his gun, he just simply throws something, and it just attaches to his shoulder. As it doesn't feel any pain, so he continues to shoot, as Fred is just hiding behind some corpses. As he presses a button, as the guy's shoulder just blows up. This new high-tech explosives they gave me are surely impressive. As he then just tosses them around and starts walking further. As even more guards come out with their guns, aiming at the direction where Fred's coming. He pulls out his sword and just places the stickers on the sword. And then he simply just runs on a building, jumping across and getting behind them. As he's standing behind one of the guards, one of them notices it and then fires into his own ally, not caring for his safety, as he gets riddled with bullets. And this is where Fred does one of the most, disturbing scenes in the entire story. Runs around in a circle, while around them, chopping all of their heads off, and their torsos and their heads explode, sending blood everywhere. As he had just killed an entire squad and blew them up. As then a jeep comes up with a machine gun and starts firing at Fred. He simply does a backflip, jumps on the wall, jumps up, and he gets on the roof and starts running as the machine gun on the jeep is just riddling the walls of the buildings as it's following Fred. And now it's time for the big explosive. As then the guy doesn't know what he's talking about as the guy in the jeep heard him. As he simply says, "Time to go boom," as he presses both his hands down like they're, pushing a button. Then the jeep explodes. As he does a flip and lands on the ground behind the explosion. As now the one guard that survived is now just on the ground against the wall, having his pistol out. "Stay away from me!" as he shoots, as Fred just deflects it with the blade. "You're probably wondering how I blew up the jeep with not even touching it. Simple. I simply dropped a C4 where I was standing a few moments ago when I walked into the room. Or not the room, but the area." "Why would you leave explosives where you walk?" "Seriously? I'm walking into an enemy camp, filled with my enemies. You don't think I would bring, explosives?" "Of course not. After all, your higher-ups a little while ago enjoyed the little fireworks show I displayed." As he just, thankfully just leans back and falls on the ground, as everything around, all the building in explosions. As he's laying on the ground, and the guard is completely confused. And he just asks, "What are you doing?" As a blade just goes through his neck. "Yeah, that's what I call a little distraction." As he then looks over and sees the body wasn't there at all, or him wasn't there at all. "You see, explosives, when you inhale that, there's a chance for hallucinations. And I'm not normally allowed to use so many. But I'm pretty sure I'll be able to manage to talk to Green Kenobi and he'll understand. After all, me and Green Kenobi go way back in terms of how long we've been in the organization. But truth to be told, I only met him a little while ago, about say a year or so. but he surely understands some of the things I do. As he then pulls the blade out, as the guy just is holding his neck as he's on the floor. Now, let's go find Empowered Gaming. As he starts walking towards the old factory. And this is where the Siren Head that was at the old factory starts walking around. As it's moving in one leg in front, as it's walking, well, on the side of the building. Looking around as pretty much everyone with guns are just leaned down in the building to making sure the Siren Head can't see them because they don't know if the thing can see. They are doing best to hold their breaths that it doesn't find them. Well, the other were to be seen, and the gunfire has stopped all of a sudden. As everyone in the building is confused. Captain Inkwell, Empowered Gaming, and a lot of the troops are scared because they don't know if this thing's going to come after them after they've taken pretty much a big beating. As then, well, someone comes walking down the road, whistling. As he's then we hear a bang on metal. As we look over, and the first person to see it is Empowered Gaming, as it's Fred, who had just cut down a power line as it falls to the ground, as he just steps over it. So you're the Siren Head. As the Siren Head gets in a stance, well, like it's about to run at him, while another one comes out of nowhere and attempts to slap him away. Well, that's not going to work on Fred, as he jumps over and cuts the arm of the Siren Head that attacked him, and jumps away, as it left a little bit of a mark on the Siren Head, but it goes in for a punch. Fred just climbs up its arm and just slashed it on the shoulder, before jumping over him and landing on the ground. The other Siren Head now runs in with a fist in a straight line, making it seem like he's about to stab Fred, as he leans his sword, deflecting the blow of the Siren Head to the ground. As then he moves so quickly, he plants bombs on its, I would say arm, as it explodes. As he then does a flip away from the explosion. As he pulls out two pistols and starts shooting them. As now they both try to, throw punches, as the funny thing is, both Siren Heads hit themselves, and one falls over. And Fred is on the other arm of the other Siren Head that's still standing. As it goes to slap him, Fred jumps off, and the Siren Head's arm drops to the ground. As it then holds his arm that's just gone, as it releases a big siren noise, shutting down everything of communication, every hardware, as it's probably the most powerful one it's done yet. Now you see, that little thing is not going to work. As he then touches to his ears, I made sure to come prepared. As then it's revealed that he has earmuffs, so he hasn't heard a single thing anyone has said the entire time he's walked in. And I think it's about time I get rid of one of you after all. We only need one. As the injured one attempts to go throws its other arm at it, as he simply deflects it and cuts its arm, but it doesn't fall off, only leaving scratches. As then the blade starts to shine a little bit of a whitish red, as the Siren Head goes in for a final attack, as Fred just goes up and down its arm, cutting its arm off into pieces as it goes for its neck, chopping its neck off as it falls to the ground. The other Siren Head had recovered and rushes at Fred. Okay, you can do your thing now, Empowered Gaming. As he says that, a huge net comes over and captures the other Siren Head, as it's just in a huge net. Yeah, I knew you had one in that building. As Empowered Gaming and Captain Equal comes out. First off, how did you get here? Second off, how did you know we had a net in the building? And third, how did you just decapitate one of them? To answer your first one, I could smell the field of combat from miles away. The second one was pretty obvious. You always have a backup plan when it comes to things. After all, you are pretty good and intelligent. If a plan fails, you usually have a backup. And third, I simply just used a new weapon that was given to me a little while ago by the experimentation of Howling Melody. Yeah, apparently it heats it up so hot, the blade's so hot that it turns whitish red. I'm able to cut pretty much anything with it. It's very impressive. Now, I said we get out of here. Unless you want me to cut this one's head off. Nope, we were told to contain, not kill. After all, there could be another one of those things around here, and I don't want to stick around to find out. As Empowered Gaming's like, I'm pretty sure you can handle another one. Yes, I know, but I'm pretty sure when I get back and they get the information I kill a Siren Head, I may get reprimanded for something. Why would they? Trust me, it wouldn't be the first time. As I've been reprimanded by Green Kenobi for killing targets unintentionally. As Empire Gaming, it's like, okay, all the wounded leave first. Everyone else drag the Siren Head. Because they got no vehicles, so they're just dragging the thing on the ground. What about the other one? We can't move it with the amount of men we have, so leave it. After all. Wait. You know what? Instead of leaving it, I've got a better idea. As Fred speaks up. As he just goes around placing pretty much just a huge amount of explosives around it. As Captain Eagle says, how many explosives do you have? Question, how many warehouses do we have full of explosives? I don't know. Precisely. You'll never know. As then, they leave the corpse of the other Siren Head as they're walking away, dragging this unconscious Siren Head in a net. Okay, I think we're about far enough now. As he pulls out a detonator. On the countdown now with everyone. As everyone just goes along. 3, 2, 1 as he presses it. As nothing happens. As Fred squints his eyes. Come on now. As he starts beating the detonator. Come on. As then it just explodes, revealing a bigger explosion than anticipated. Now that's what I'm talking about. As we now see the Hollow troops that had just found the dead corpse of the Siren Head. As the explosives went off. Well, you can probably guess they got incinerated. And we go back to them reaching a truck and several vehicles of shadows as King comes out. I am truly sorry. We didn't mean to, well, forget to send reinforcements or anything. We didn't know this job had more Siren Heads than anticipated. And all that, so I'm sorry. I thought you were not going to be in charge of information at all. I'm not. Although I was in charge of sending reinforcements to you, I kind of was, you were elsewhere, weren't you? As Empowered Gaming is talking to him. Yeah, I was elsewhere. What were you doing? As then we just reveal that his King's just in a Australian restaurant with his colleagues in there just having a few drinks. As the memory ends, you know, just doing another assignment, bringing in some low-level monster. If I find out you were in an Australian restaurant, you're gonna buy the entire team that survived, which is over 100 people, a drink. Yeah, alright. If you ever find out, or if I was or not, I'll buy everyone here a drink. Good. Because I am definitely going to need a drink after this. As he gets in the truck, as Fred shows up, hey King, Also, you're on overtime. As King says, why? 1. We needed backup. Oh, sorry. I didn't need backup. They needed backup. And where were you? In an Australian restaurant? Yeah, you're not gonna lie to me, are you? Dude, I'm not lying to you. I've learned that. You have Green Kenobi telling you truth things. And I know how crazy of a person you can be. True. I'll let you off the hook this one. But you're taking the Siren Head back to headquarters. As King touches his robotic arm. Yeah, I kinda deserve that. You also deserve this. As he just simply well, pats him on the shoulder and walks away. What was that about? As then a small spark appears on his back. As his coat catches fire. As he then just rolls on the ground to try to put it out. Fred! As then the Siren Head's just squirming in the background. Where are the tranquilizers? Right here, sir, as they pull out a bag of tranquilizers. Tranquilize the thing. We're getting this thing back to headquarters. Yes, sir. As we go to Fred, Captain Inkwell, and Empowered Gaming all in a car. So where are we heading to now? Well, your two will probably be assigned a new assignment. I'm heading back to Poppy Playtime, because our next adventure exploring inward is happening soon. I see. Well, you have a nice time there. I'm probably not going anywhere for a little bit. I took quite a few injuries from that mission. Same. In fact, my head still hurts severely. I gotta admit, I gotta give you credit for surviving being hit with a helicopter. Captain Inkwell. I still don't know how that happened. As Empowered Gaming speaks up, it's probably best you don't remember. Well, I'm gonna take everyone that survived to go get drinks. And I'm putting it on King's tab, by the way. Yeah, that seems fair. As all of them just shake their heads. Also, if possible, don't forget, he's also going to pay me a drink as well when I get back from my mission in Poppy Playtime. Yes, I'll make sure to remind him. Good. As he then just simply jumps onto another vehicle, out the door, and onto his side of a vehicle heading to Poppy Playtime. Was he not wearing a seatbelt the entire time? As they're both looking at each other, and look out the open door. As then Howling Melody just pops on the screen, and the door shuts. Yes, don't mind Fred. He's kind of the he's pretty much our task force's most indestructible personnel. Trust me, this man can 1v1 pretty much any monster you'll come across. I'm not gonna deny that. Let's just talk this as actual logic. And I'm taking a nap. As Empowered Gaming just passes out because he's been awake the entire night. As Captain Inkwell looks at the screen. You probably should also take a nap. I've been asleep for several hours. I am good. Fair point. Also, come to the infirmary when you get back to headquarters. I'm not going to deny that. I'll be there right away. As that is the end of part 2 and the final part of the Shadows vs. Siren Head. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and just a little bit of a sneak peek. What would y'all like me to do for the next Shadows after the Poppy Playtime? Would it be, what, the prototype? Or would it be Resident Evil? Tell me in the comment section. Anyway, I felt like that was a pretty good one, and, well, really good live stream. Thank you for joining